Welcome. My name is Mink. I am a satyr. And today I'm actually dressed up as our good friend Marshall from Animal Crossing to celebrate talking about Animal Crossing, or more specifically, talking about that elusive 5-star island. I say elusive because there are some folks who just like have naturally just fallen into a 5-star island on Animal Crossing, and for them, hurrah, good for you, that's awesome. And then there are some people who are like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, but this ain't it, chief. I've been on 2-star for like 3 weeks. What's going on? Um, so I am here to talk to you about some like quick and easy ways to get yourself to a 5-star island if that matters to you. Frankly, the only thing that you would get on a 5-star island is a DIY recipe for a golden watering can and like a flower that can't get trampled ever called the Lily of the Valley, and that's pretty much it. I mean, maybe bragging rights, but kind of who cares? It's not like the Happy Home Academy gold trophy, which just feels good. So there's really no, if you feel like you have to play Animal Crossing to get the 5-star island to win Animal Crossing, then Animal Crossing might be a very different game for you than it is for me, and that's okay. Anyway, let's talk about what you need. So I'm going to kind of frame this panel in an interesting way for y'all because I mean, it's hard to talk about a video game, specifics of a video game for an hour unless you do some very strategic framing. Hold on, gotta view slideshow. Why won't, oh, because it has to be on slideshow. That's why I'm real good at this. I'm so good at this. So as we're like getting into how are we going to frame this, I'm going to be looking at what will award points for getting your 5-star island, what will dock you points from getting your 5-star island. I'm going to be presenting some of my favorite resources and tips. And then finally, we're going to go on a tour of my own island. And if you guys have Animal Crossing and you want to see my island as it exists today and explore it on your own, I will be putting up my dream code so that you can see it and explore it on your own, and you don't have to be limited to like what I'm doing. Only reason why I'm not just like making a Dodo code and having everyone come over is that obviously with the Dodo code I have a limit of 8 seats, which is, you know, smaller number if more of you wanted to come. Plus the load screen of people flying in can get incredibly tedious during a live broadcast. So we won't trouble ourselves with that on this day. So let's quickly talk about like points. Now this is where things are like can be made more clear to you. This point system has nothing to do with the Happy Home Academy or HHA. This is something that is removed from your own house. So your house is one thing that's doing something, but your island evaluation is based on what's happening outside of your home. And so as you can see in this breakdown, on the farthest column, there is the what you need to get a certain rating, 1-star, 2-star, 3-star. Most folks who have been playing the game since release, which would have been March 20th of 2020, you probably would have already gotten 3 stars fairly quickly because this is the contingency needed to get KK Slider, yeah, KK, to come visit your island. What it comes down to is there are kind of 2 categories, a development category and a scenery category, and how much you work within the confines of those 2 areas will help determine how many stars you get, which sounds complicated, but this is just like way more nitty-gritty than mostly anyone cares about. This is a lot of words. I'm going to try to just like scooch past it really quick because it's a lot. the important thing from this is that you need to have at least 450 points in scenery and 665 points in development in order to get a 5-star island. These are things that are going to happen really quickly and easily because that's just the nature of the game, and these points kind of add up really quickly. So for scenery, this is like where we have a lot of natural stuff. If you've ever talked to Isabel, the cute little dog who works in resident services, she'll tell you sometimes when she'll give you like little hints. If you don't have a 5-star island, she'll be like, oh, maybe plant some more flowers, or oh, put up some more DIY furniture, like put some more furniture up that you've created. That's her hint to tell you which area you're lacking in, whether you're lacking in scenery or you're lacking in development. Scenery tends to be more nature. So that means like how many trees you have, how many flowers you have. It does have to do with DIY furniture. Development tends to do more with like purchased furniture. But that's like her hint to you. It's like, here's an area that you're lacking in. A lot of folks say that you have to have a certain number of trees or a certain number of flowers in order to get a 5-star island. Technically, that's true and not true. Like, it's true in the sense that you need to have natural stuff, or it's easier to have natural stuff in order to get a 5-star island, because each tree, whether it's a fruit tree or a bamboo tree, a cedar tree, what is the other tree? Pine tree? No, they don't call it a pine tree. You guys know what I'm talking about. Those all are 1 point. There are some folks who say having a diversity in like tree, like having different fruit trees is essential. I haven't found anything that says one way or another, like, oh, you need to have one of every kind of tree in order, like one of every kind of fruit tree in order to get a 5-star island. I have not seen any evidence to fully support that, but it don't hurt. Mostly the only thing I could think of that would refute that is if it was required to have a one of every kind of fruit tree, then people who do not have access to the internet or don't have like an online subscription through the Nintendo Switch online, they wouldn't be able to get 5-star islands, which is kind of shady poker. So I suspect you don't need to have every kind of tree, but I do think diversity is probably baked in there somewhere. Similarly, you get a point for every flower you have. If you have a buttload of flowers, then hey, you're gonna get real close to your scenery goal pretty quickly. It's important to note that any of the documentation I found has a maximum on how many trees you'll get points for, which is 190. So if you have 190 trees, that's like 191 trees isn't going to increase your scenery score anymore. Then as far as like furniture is concerned, there is a difference between furniture you craft and furniture that you buy. And when you are placing them, it's based on, not only do you get a point for the furniture that you're placing, but you might get a multiplier if you have different types of furniture within the grid that we are talking about. It's much more challenging to see the grid system in Animal Crossing New Horizons. In the original Animal Crossing for the GameCube, they actually laid out their 8x8 grid very clearly. You can still see what your 8x8 grid looks like when you look at your map, or if you're in map view, you'll be able to see that there's just a number of different very faint grid lines, and that's your 8x8 grid that they're referring to when they talk about, like, you know, you must fit it within this grid. I find personally, I like to fill things more with DIY furniture than with furniture that I have purchased, just because I like it better. But you will need to get more development points. So how does that all work out? I'm going to tell you. You're going to get a buttload of development points just by progressing the story, because when you open your museum, when you upgrade Nook's Cranny, when you get the Able Sister shop, when you get a bridge or an incline, those are all 15 points a pop. And that includes bridges. So remember, you have a maximum of 8 bridges and 8 inclines. So like, let me get my calculator. So let's see, 8 plus 8 is 16. And we're going to multiply that by 15 points each. That's 240 for just having maximum bridges and maximum inclines. Once we add the Able Sisters, and we're going to add Nook's Cranny, and we're going to add the museum, now we're at 285. You're at 285 just for advancing the story and having the maximum number of bridges and inclines. And it doesn't, there's no advantage to having a Zen bridge versus the woodlog bridge, which is like the cheapest option. There's no point advantage between the two. So right there, if you kind of like take away the amount of points that you get just from advancing the story, you're looking at your scenery score and your development score being roughly the same. I think Nintendo kind of figured that if you were going to advance the story, then here you have to have at least like somewhere like 450 points in both scenery and development beyond what you were doing naturally for the story. So now let's talk about things that can remove points from your island. This is where I find people tend to this is where people are limited, because they don't realize that some of these things are keeping you from having that 5-star island, if that makes sense. So the first piece is clutter. Having any grid on your island cluttered will automatically bring you from a potentially 5-star to a 4-star, just automatically. And so when I say any grid, I mentioned before that that 8x8 grid, again, 8x8 grid means a total of 64 tiles, because that's what 8 times 8 is. So if 45 out of those 64 tiles are covered with furniture or items, and yes, I do include items as like poppers, wrapping paper, DIYs, shovels, and other tools, like those count as items. Fish, those count as items. So you can see in our image here, we literally have a situation where we've got somebody, I mean, it's early because they've got the tent, but they are covered in fish and bugs because possibly from that image, their museum is just not open at that time and they're waiting, which that's a mood. But that area, that 8x8 area, would be considered cluttered because there's way too much stuff. And so that person, if they were at this exact moment looking to get a 5-star island, it's probably not going to happen for them. Similarly, another thing that takes away from your ability to get to that 5-star island is something called littering. And littering refers to if you have more than 15 items, so 16 and up, that's your threshold, of items that are dropped on the ground. That means they're in leaf form or they're in like a DIY. If it's anything, if you've selected the word drop instead of place to put your item on the ground, that counts as an item that you've littered. Some of them, like trash, obviously that is a very clear, like, okay, that's litter because the game recognizes it as trash. If you leave trash out, you'll get flies. Or if you leave like a spoiled turnip out, you'll get ants. And that's how you trigger those insect events. in case you didn't know how to get those insects year round for your museum. Now you know. But like regular turnips are also deemed trash or like littering if you've dropped them, which basically means that if you have a place like in our image here where we've got somebody who's made a very cute turnip field, clearly harvesting like, you know, trying to do the turnip stock market, that is going to keep them from getting a 5-star island, which seems so asinine, but the game recognizes any item that's been dropped as litter. And as you can see from that picture, I don't even have to see if they have any other items dropped. I know that there are more than 16 turnips in that image, which means that even if the rest of their island is top notch, they now have a 4-star island or less because they have littered. And that was something that was very frustrating to me, because when I was first starting to play the game and getting into the turnips in the stock market, I would do something like this. I had a field of turnips, and I went to Isabel, like, you know, trying to scratch my ego, like, all right, I'll check out and see. I'll check out and see how my island Val is doing. You know, it's going to be a review from CJ, and that's fine. And then Isabel was like, oh, you have a 4-star island. That's different now. I was like, what has happened? So that's how I found out about this littering piece. What makes me very angry is that tables, stalls, benches, any of that, if you've dropped an item onto furniture that you've placed, that still counts as littering. Here's where that becomes a real problem. As you'll see later on in this presentation, when I go on the island tour, I have places in my island where I wanted to encourage people who visited my island to pick stuff up. So I have a DIY center for people to like just pick up DIYs when they come visit and see if I have something that they don't have, which I love because then they get to take some of the things that I've already learned. But I also have like my outdoor garden store that originally I used to put like seeds, sprouts, bushes, like stuff before the character Leaf was around. That was where I had my island's native flowers and the sister flowers as seeds available for people to pick up in any color. Seeds count as a dropped item, and so unbeknownst to me, I was preventing myself from having a 5-star island, even though my seeds were clearly displayed in a stall. So it didn't really make sense. I kind of hate that feature, but here we are. Basically anything that doesn't naturally appear, like if you go to a one of those like fantasy islands that you can just go to through the Dodo airport, if you see any items dropped in that area, that counts as like okay to be on the ground. So like it's okay to have weeds on the ground. It's okay to have branches on the ground. It's okay to have stones, stars, shells. Those are okay. They don't count as litter because those are natural items, I guess, by Nintendo. But DIYs count. So that's where I find the most people who are struggling are like, I don't know what to do. And then I go to their island and it's just a sea of DIYs for people to pick up. I was like, there's your problem. Round all that up, drop it in the basement of your home, and none will be the wiser. So now that we've kind of talked about like, okay, that's the nitty gritty to get your 5-star island, let's quickly kind of talk about, okay, I have a 5-star island of like the bare minimum, but I want to be proud of my stuff. How do I get to that point? A lot of my favorite resources for great ideas or just inspiration points comes from the Animal Crossing subreddit. And while I'm sure there is a New Horizons specific subreddit, the Animal Crossing subreddit that's just open to the entire franchise has been my favorite go-to source. Oftentimes what you'll see is here's literal screen grabs of posts that I picked up this morning. So if you like them, you can go to the subreddit and find them. They also at the very bottom, I should have the, yeah, I've got the people who posted, so you should be able to search by who has posted as well. What you'll be able to do is you'll be able to check out their stuff. A lot of times, if you just read the comments, if someone's used a cool pattern or done something interesting, they'll indicate like what they used or what interesting thing they had gotten involved. So I just saw that there's a comment that the kitchen looks like a home decor magazine. You're not kidding. You are not kidding. That looks absolutely beautiful. I'm in love with going to the subreddit because they just have so many inspiring things. One of my favorite things to see is when people do themes for their islands. A lot of times you'll see like whole videos of people doing like a lap around their island or parts of their island that they're working on. And now that dream versions of your island are available, people are dropping their dream codes left and right. So you can go visit their island. You can take some of their personally made designs because they have a available kiosk for such things. So that's basically the subreddit is the way to go. It's blown up right now from the most recent update. So if you're looking for great pieces that match your aesthetic, here's where you can go. Another place that I like to head to is a website called nookisland.com. This is something that I went to within the first like a month of playing Animal Crossing. And I went there originally because that's where they had the best designs. So if I wanted to get like a design, like if I wanted to dress up like an anime character, I could look up a design because it had a great database for that. Or if I was looking for a neat path, I could look it up instead of making it on my own. That being said, the website has since expanded, so it also has a forum. It has an active like trading area so that you can trade items with one another. It's a great resource if you don't know a lot of people who are playing. You can just go to this site and interact with folks. And it's just great if you're like, I need this one item and I have no idea how to get it. So I'm a big fan of that. And then my other piece of advice is, especially if you have friends who enjoy playing Animal Crossing, I highly recommend that you do what is referred to as catalog parties or cataloging. And that's where the goal is that everyone shows up with items, so you can decide if it's clothing, wallpaper, etc., anything that can be purchased. So DIYs are off limits, art off limits because those can't be ordered through your catalog later. But that is that's where I was able to get a lot of the things that I wanted by just interacting with people from like the cosplay community, or I'm part of a LARP community. So like I joined Facebook groups and I would go to these catalog parties and we would just drop a bunch of stuff in a spot. Everyone would have a chance to pick it up, drop it back on the spot, move on to the next spot. And it was a very good, wholesome way of just getting these items to be in your inventory. Because once it's in your catalog, you can buy anything at any time through the Nook shop. And I do want to add that you're not forced to only buy 5 things in the Nook catalog at a time. Yes, you are, but there are ways around that. For example, when I was looking to get like a buttload of screens, I would buy the 5 that I could per diem, and then I would order some as gifts for friends. If you have an online functionality, you can order 2 gifts per friend. And you can also send 2 letters per friend. That's incidentally. So what I would do is I would just find friends who are online, say, I'm going to order this for you. Either come to my island and drop it off or mail it to me. The fun thing about ordering for a friend is that if my friend were on right now and I ordered something from my catalog right now, it would be in their mailbox immediately. You do not have to wait for the next day for it to arrive. So if I was like one screen short or like one simple panel short and I needed to have that simple panel, I'd catalog it to a friend and have that friend mail it to me, because going cross internet like that is instantaneous, as opposed to in my game, if I were to order it off of my own catalog, I'd have to wait till the next day for it to arrive. Of course, this is assuming I'm not time traveling. I could also just use 2 accounts if I was looking to order a bunch of things. So this is where you have your main Switch account, but then you make other accounts, like dummy accounts on Switch, and then you have them join your island. So per Switch, you just get 1 island, but you can have up to 8 users playing on your island. So you just sign into a different account on your Switch, and then they would have their own house. Only the island resident gets to like the story mode of the game, including visiting other people on their islands. But you can kind of game the system a little bit. You can use other houses from other accounts as additional storage. You can use this to buy more items from Red. You can use this to order more items from a catalog. So it is annoying because you'd have to switch between accounts each time if you wanted to access these things. But I mean, the advantage is that if you needed to get 10 books and you absolutely could not wait 2 days, you could just get another account and just do it one day.
You can also use it as extra theme building.
You could also use it for extra theme buildings. It's not going to give you any points on your development or scenery points, but like if you had some really cool rooms and then you had an idea for an amazing room, but you just don't have space and you don't want to get rid of some of the other stuff, that's okay. You can just have a new house and have the new house do it. I'm on the fence about whether I want to do it, because it would be really cool to have a house that had a very specific theme. Just haven't pulled trigger on it because I don't know if I want to use up the precious space that would be required. The last thing that you can do to kind of help your case along is time travel. Obviously, I was going to have to do like a Doctor Who reference because, come on, it's so cute. Look at her. Look at her. I wish I had this color phone box. I think my phone box is green, and I've never ordered it because who wants a green phone box? Pass. It's not even red. Anyway, so time traveling is where you change the internal clock on your Nintendo Switch so that your game thinks it's a certain time, like it's the next day, or suddenly it thinks that it's the next month or the last month. Time traveling is a great way to get some of the stuff that you want. It's a great way to farm Gulliver. If you know Gulliver comes on Tuesday, like it's Tuesday and you get Gulliver, you can time travel to Wednesday and then travel back to Tuesday and you'll still get Gulliver because that's kind of phase locked into your game at that point. So you can farm him for stuff if that's how you want to play your game. I have not done any time traveling. So when we do an island tour, you're going to see what I've kind of just put together by only taking advantage of my friends, obviously, and going, like, asking them all of the time if they could just mail me stuff, or conversely, me mail them stuff. Or I've just, like, you know, over time, I've slowly gone through. I'm only mildly distracted, I just want you to know, because in front of me, I have my Switch up and I have my game up. You guys will get to see it soon. But right now, 2 of my villagers are in the courtyard, like frumping at each other. They're like angering at each other. And it is the funniest thing to just watch them like sit there and fume. So my apologies for the big distraction right now. Just, they're so mad. It's Claude the bunny and Whitney the wolf right now are just like absolutely angry at each other. And I'm just watching as like Bo the deer just like walks by like ate my problem. Good times. Always good times. Anyway, so we are going to go on an adventure. If you want to, if you got a game and you want to go tour my island also, here is my island address. It will be up when we go on the tour because I will have the tour up on the screen. Unfortunately, I haven't found a better way to do this other than screen sharing OBS. So you are going to get the OBS like little sidebar. And I'm sorry, it's just what it is. Hopefully you guys can be cool with it. So without further ado, we're going to go on an adventure and it's going to be grand. I do have to get OBS up though in order to do this proper. And I am going to full screen that for everybody's benefit. All right, and this is going to be weird because technically my television is in front of me, but I also have my camera in front of me too, so I'm like looking down a little bit to also check out my island. So as I mentioned, my biggest hurdle in all of this are these DIY stalls. I have a total of 8. That's 8 pieces of litter according to my island, which is like unfair in my opinion. That counts is hurtful. I do not appreciate. Excuse me, I feel really bad. I've got like that moment where you just get a lot of phlegm in your throat. And of course, it's like the terrible time. Hey, look, it's my bro. It's who I'm dressed as. Ah. So many people do fun things for their entrance. This is what I have chosen to do with mine because I'm almost like right up against the courtyard. And yes, I didn't time travel. So today is Sunday in August, which means Red is here to sell fireworks. I will hit that sucker up in a little bit, but not when we're all together. I can already tell. So I know that there is someone in this group that is totally going online right now and possibly going to explore my island because I just saw them sign on. How you doing? you know I'm singling you out. So I do want to show you to like one place where I found inspiration through Reddit, and it's this lovely little space up here. I love how I like cleared out all the shells for you guys in my dream version of the island, so you won't have like the same shell thing. Remember, the shells don't count as litter, so like me picking them up is complete. Oh good, I did empty my stuff. Me picking up the shells is just because I'm gonna sell them because I want those enough miles. So this area here was very much inspired through Reddit. I saw that there was like some sort of outdoor bar that I thought was so cute. And when I went to Reddit, they also had the link to what their design code was in the kiosk for this flooring, which is 3 different kinds of, like, if I go to my designs, you can see all the designs I have. It's these 3. You can see I did not make them because of that little like X. I can't edit it. That's that's on purpose. I like how our moderator in the comments has said that this is like a 5-star resort. Thanks. I call it a juice bar because I don't drink, and because I don't think Nintendo promotes drinking. But I do love, even this sign here came from the interwebs, and I think it's like wicked cute. So of course I had to do that. And then when surfboards came out, I knew I had to add a surfboard to it. Another thing that I found on Reddit that I thought was stupid cute was this first aid area. And it's wound up being wonderful, not because I get stung by bees a lot. Whenever I shake trees, I just shake trees with a net in hand so that I never have to worry about wasps chasing me. But I like it for when I visit villagers and someone's sick. I don't have to go all the way over to Nook's Cranny to get medicine, or go all the way back to my house to get medicine. I can just pick it up from here, which I say because on my island, you can kind of see it on the island map down on the bottom of our screen here. Like all of my residential, I moved to one corner, and then my house and Nook's Cranny is on the other corner. So those sorts of things, stupid though they may be, are things. Another irritating fact, this piece of medicine counts as slot number 9 of the trash that I have on my island. Even though it's totally thematic and totally legitimate, that's number 9. I'm not kidding you when I say you have to be mindful of these sorts of things. So heading on over, actually right before, like maybe a week ago, I saw something similar to this and was like, I have to, it's so cute. I still don't have the DIY for ducks, but a friend of mine sent me them, and every time she sent me a duck, she would just write more of the lyrics from DuckTales in the letter, and it was very great. I also just found out for Mom's stuffed animal, which you can see the dog there, you can customize Mom's stuffed animal. So I had gotten one that was gray and like green and dotted, and I customized it to look like a dog because it was a little bit busted. I am a big fan of the abstract concept of a private beach. So there are some things that I felt were important in my private beach. This little aquarium outlet was a very big fun one. Again, I took to Reddit for inspiration. I got some, I think all of these designs came from just like the default that the Mabel sisters have given. But I 100% added this little friend because he's a little kitty and he rolls on his back, and that's too cute for words. I also found out that in the nighttime, ambers glow, so I like to use ambers as an alternative to light sources like lamps, as long as they're not dropped, so they look like, as long as they look like ambers and not like little bones with the skull and crossbone, then you won't get that counting as litter. I'm also a big fan of this little moment right here. This bucket with the sand, this bucket is a bug. This is what the diving beetle. Big fan of using that because you can hardly see the diving beetle, so it just looks like a pail in sand. Who doesn't love that? What I did discover is that every island has its own length dock. So I've been to islands that are just like as long as maybe like where I am standing right now. They're very short docks. I somehow have a very long dock. I ain't mad because it meant that I could put in this cute little moment with the bench. I've had this little moment with the bench since like late March. And it was one of those things where when people would visit my island, this is where we would hang out and just like do reactions and selfies together. I had previously used this lovely little lounge area where my onshore aquarium is, and had to move it so that the aquarium would look nice. I've done so many things on the beaches at this point, but my beaches for the most part lay bare and empty because I still haven't quite figured out what to do with them. But I do want to say here, I'm going to show you an area where mailing things to friends was important, and that's this little inlet here. No one should care about it. This holds way more people than it should. I've always wanted to do one of those like recessed reclining areas. Yes, I did make this carpet though. I made this carpet design that's only vaguely inspired by the carpet design from The Shining, just with different colors. But here's one where I very much would mail like a couch, like 2 couch parts to a friend every day and be like, could you smile back? Thanks. And I have no shame in that, literally no shame. I find that with houses, a lot of folks, one of my friends actually did this amazing thing where she only sought out people who had a certain color house. So it didn't matter what they looked like or who they were. Like if they had a blue house, they were sold. I didn't play that way, so all my houses are different. But I did want to make sure that everyone has a different flower garden. So that was my stupid thing. And here is where I would put Raymond if I had Raymond. This is where Celia lives. I hate Celia. She was one of my first villagers I got. She can fry ice. If you like Celia, great. I'm very happy for you. You can have her. Please take her. I can't get rid of her fast enough. One thing I do want to say is that I highly encourage, if you have been playing this game and you want to just shake things up, I encourage you leveling everything to the ground and starting from scratch. That is a great way to spend a bagillion hours, but like it's a great way to start again and get new inspiration. My museum used to be right behind my house, and that looked great until I wanted a more elaborate entrance, which is, this is my museum entrance. It's not the most auspicious, but it gets me from A to B. This previous area was some of my residential. I think I had a house up here and a house down here, but I wound up moving them all because I wanted to have this slick museum. And actually, as recently as this week, I changed this area back here into a graveyard and planted a bunch of flowers and everything. Yeah, you didn't know about the graveyard, did you? I have a graveyard now.
Oh.
Yeah. My boyfriend's off in the corner, vaguely listening to me, but mostly playing video games. But he did not know that I had a graveyard now. I have a graveyard now. I'm a big fan of floor lights, by the way. I think floor lights are a great way to highlight things that you love. So this place at night looks very nice because I've got the spotlights on, say, like the Mona Lisa. That is not the actual Mona Lisa. This is angry Mona Lisa. I only put fake art outside. I do love going to resources online for finding great things to do with flowers, like this little corner with the flowers, the bushes, and the rock wall. I saw that used differently in on someone else's island and thought it was so darn charming. So even though I'm putting it on a corner, it was just a cute moment that I could get behind. Here's where I really took advantage of other people through a catalog party. I'd gone to a catalog party, and when I had come back, I had unintentionally gotten the entire like retro dining set, which meant that I had to build a proper 50s diner. I very quickly knew that while the theme was going to be this red and white, I wanted to have this cute like teal color for some of the accessories. This is in order, if you want to block off a room like this, it's very simple. All you have to do is just get a buttload of simple panels. You can customize them so that they have whatever design on it. Apparently my design is okay. But it was so time consuming getting all of these panels, because just think, like, there's 5 per day. So every day I'm ordering 5 or sending them to friends. It takes a long time. This is where, if you are cool with time travel, darn it, that is like a zen. Please consider time traveling. I knew early on I wanted to have a little cafe in front of some of my villagers, and so that is what's happening up in here. I haven't touched this area in some time. So this is a space that would be on the docket for changing up. Once you unlock terraforming, you really do get like a great opportunity to make a lot of cool changes. I love playing with waterfalls. This is one of my favorite waterfall areas, but you'll see there's another area on my island that has exciting waterfalls, and I'm a big fan. If Red were here, this would be a lovely little spot for Red. Otherwise, it's just a cute little area. A couple of months ago, I made a Twitch stream that was the creating of the tiling. So this is custom tile that I had done for the for this like Chinese restaurant and bamboo rug. And then it was like I did that online through the Twitch stream, and then also assembled this hodgepodge of chaos. I strongly recommend the use of bamboo speakers to give a place ambiance. You can hide bamboo speakers behind trees because they're nice, long, and skinny. And then it will look like it'll play music to give you like a really cool theme without being visible, because sometimes that visibility is a bit of a buzzkill. So in a moment, we're going to come across like my next the waterfall moment. I'll give you a better view of it in a second. But this is just to give you a sense of where we're at. Jump. Don't get stuck. There you go. My little Tom Nook cosplay avatar is fun. It took me forever to find those stupid pants, though. You wouldn't think khaki pants are hard to find, and yet here we are. This is one of my favorite things to do with forced perspective. Is a really fun thing to do when you're doing an island, especially when you've got these rock outcrops, because you can just make it look like that that lighthouse is way bigger than or taller than it is. This is where I used those the throwback like lunch boxes, I guess, to look like little buses, or I used the HHA trophies to look like I've got a tiny little village happening. So there's a lot that can be done.
Mink, so we have 2 comments. One is from Andrew. Tybalt apparently wants to bench press my character in the dream world.
Oh, Tibbs, you're terrible. I love it. It's amazing.
And then Ariel said, the theme of my island is myself, so there's just trash everywhere.
Oh, no! That's a mood. I'm with you on that. So this is what I was mentioning when I said the crazy waterfall. This is like waterfalls for days, but I built this after my hedgehog, as depicted in this picture next to my character. My hedgehog had passed away, and I was really sad about it. It was like sometime in April, like right in the height of quarantine. So I made this like little memorial for her, and I haven't touched this area at all since, because that's for her. But I have touched this area. This is my outdoor library. This is where books live. Because they don't live in my house, to tell you what. I like the concept of taking little spaces and chunking them into like cute little themes. When you don't have the opportunity to use rugs, because for some reason Animal Crossing doesn't let you use rugs outside, which is a huge waste, that's where I like to use textures and things. And the texture for this rug is just literally the OG texture that everyone deletes over immediately. I kept it because I think it makes a dope rug. There are some things that like I do wish I could get rid of, or like would want to get rid of. This giant orchard, which is really fun to get lost in, is, in my opinion, a big waste of space. But I imagine this also contributes to my scenery score, as well as when I have visitors, that's where they can go to collect fruit. And I do like to be hospitable. So when you do have like an area that has a theme, though, it does kind of like make you feel like, okay, I know where we are. I know what's going on. Like, okay, this is a bamboo garden. I got it. This is a space where I've hidden speakers. So I have a speaker behind this tree and a speaker behind this tree, because these two speakers up here by the fence gates only project so far. And I wanted this entire area to be kind of part of that theme. So I incorporated music to unite it. Now I know you guys can't hear it because I haven't shared my audio, and that's probably for the best. No one needs to hear the obnoxious music of Animal Crossing cutting in and out.
Mink, Andrew has a comment. Can't count how many times I've gotten lost in that forest.
Oh, Andrew has been to my island quite a number of times. This particular orchard is a fun place to do hide and seek. One little hack, though, if you hit the X button, you can find yourself right away. What's funny, though, is that fossils and weeds and sticks do not accumulate in this area. So I've had this zone since like pretty much the beginning, and there's never been a fossil buried here. There have never been sticks like found here. The only time there's anything between these trees are if I shake the trees. Similarly, as far as like bug placement is concerned, I will only find insects on the trees that are visible. So like these outlier trees that are just on the outside, that's where like the beetles and cicadas will live. They won't ever spawn in the middle, and I have checked. I appreciate that the game is very very friendly in that way. They're not here to screw you over. One thing that I do love, as I've said, is when you find a furniture item or a DIY that you really love and build a space around it. So I had a lot of mossy rocks and bamboo, and it was real fun to build this Zen garden around the fact that I had all these DIYs. And then over time, I would get more DIYs and just switch things out. So at this point, I could probably switch some more things out. Like I might switch out my my butterfly model for some more mossy rocks, because I have some more mossy rocks that I can add. Highlighting that this is trash number 10 and 11 in this horse stall. Yes, we will go inside, but here's our ticket to enter, and here's the feed that we can use. Haha, I know it's not actually horse feed, but it does look like that, and it makes me happy. It takes forever to find friends that have all of these horsies, and I'm so excited that I can say that my collection, much like Ariel, my collection of horsies is complete, including the rodeo horses, which I think wobble differently. That's fun to discover, because the spring ride horses wobble to and fro, and these guys wobble kind of side to side. That's funny. I never noticed that. Now you get to notice that too. I really like the rodeo horses. I think they're stupid cute. As I mentioned before, there was a time where I would buy turnips. This is a plot of 13. I would usually buy turnips at like 13 a pop, and I would put them on this little plot just because it was convenient to me. And once I discovered that turnips counted as trash and take away from your 5-star island status, that was my like aha moment, where I was like, okay, sadly, I will not be able to continue to put my turnips here because I am just going to ruin my score. And I like having these stupid Lily of the Valleys. So one thing you'll know is Lily of the Valleys tend to appear every 3 or 4 days on a high cliff, usually on the edge. So there's a spot in that park area right next to the Chinese restaurant that I mostly leave empty or just with a couple flowers, so that the lily of the valleys will keep spawning, and then I keep finding new places to put them. This is where I put my first 13. This is my lucky number 13. One thing that's very delightful about lily of the valleys is you can run and they will never get trampled. Never, ever. You can never, they do not need water. They will not multiply with watering. The only way you can get them is by having a 5-star island. So for many people, the lily of the valley is a bit of a status symbol. This is like my equivalent of having like trophies. It's like, look at how long I've had this. It's been forever. Here's, as I was mentioning during the PowerPoint part of my presentation, these stalls were previously filled with shrubs, bamboo sprouts, flowers, seed bags, things that people could come up and take. And now I have to fill them with just like plant items or plant adjacent items, because that counted as trash. When I go online and see what people have done, one of the greatest things I enjoy doing is not necessarily duplicating, but taking a bunch of things that I've seen and putting it all together. Like putting together the pear park with all those garden benches, and then putting in this like cute, it's not a hedge maze. Some folks have called it that because it looks like a maze at first blush, but this is a really easy maze to get through. It's go straight or go up. Like there's no challenge here. But what I do enjoy is it's now my butterfly garden. This is where I put all of my butterfly models. And it's just delightful. But as you can see, there are areas of my island that are still largely unfinished and don't have a whole lot of stuff going on. This is where I'd put my Leo constellation thing, if I ever had a meteor shower. So really what it comes down to is I am the biggest fan of going online and seeing what other people have done on their beautiful, beautiful islands, whether it's visiting someone who's only just started or someone who's done a whole lot and this is their like entire lives is playing Animal Crossing. Because what you'll tend to see is that on every island, someone has something that you want to like steal, take, borrow, be inspired by. And it's very easy to quickly overwhelm with, oh my God, I need to have that one thing. So I will say this, anytime I visit friends and their islands, or now their dream islands, I always go with my my cell phone in hand, so I can literally take pictures of my screen so that I can come back and use some of the elements of what I've seen to design my own island, because frankly, that's the coolest part about all of this, is seeing what other people have done and being inspired to do something cool myself. Hopefully you felt the same way and you've enjoyed this quick little island tour, and you've enjoyed my presentation about talking about how to get that island of your dreams. If you want to reach out and like go to one another's islands, or just like be part of a cataloging group or anything like that, you need only message me on social media, get me a dodo code, and I will be on my way. My social media is all under Mink the Satyr. You can find me on Twitch. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Patreon, as you saw in my screen share moment. So I definitely look forward to getting to see any of your islands and seeing what you're up to, so especially because then we can help each other get the island that we're still dreaming of. Thanks a lot, guys, for coming and watching my panel. I know I think the panel was tabbed off for like a whole hour and a half, but certainly we don't necessarily need to spend that whole time. I do have lots of time to take like questions and comments though. So if anybody wants to ask questions, you can ask in the chat. If you are watching on Zoom directly, you can also unmute yourself and just ask me directly. If you're on Facebook, you're going to have to message it, and then a moderator is going to have to just read it to me because I am not on Facebook right now. I have a lot of windows open. It's hard. So I'll give you guys a couple moments if you want to make any questions or comments at me. And then, of course, if you are watching, especially people who are on Facebook, because I know we're streaming this on Facebook also, if you're on Facebook and you want to drop your dream code so that other people can visit your island, even if you're not online, they can just visit your island to upload, or your island dream or whatever they want to call it. I definitely encourage you to do so because I want to see your stuff. I want something to come look at. Any questions? It's okay if you don't. I was very thorough.
I had one question. How long did it take for you to make that island? Because it's so detailed.
Let me hit the home screen button and see how long I've been playing Animal Crossing. This is gonna get messy, isn't it? I'm gonna go to my profile, and I've been playing Animal Crossing for 440 hours. Good Jesus. I promise I have not been working on my island for 440 hours. Like some of that time is just spent like signing on, getting my fossils, doing whatever the daily visitor is, and then like talking to Pascal and going and then signing off. But especially in the beginning, I'd say easily the first 200 hours were me like actually doing something, but 200 hours across like how many months of gameplay. This was a wonderful game because so many of us were very deep in quarantine when this game happened, and this game became like, it became two things for me, and maybe it became two things for you too. It became the only way to see my friends in like some sort of live setting where it was more than just like I'm a talking head, because then my friends could interact with me even if it was just smacking me with a net. That's still interaction. This is a little bit like Second Life or like Gaia Online. The other thing this became to me was my escape from all the negativity that was happening in the world around me, like where everything seemed to be going to hell in a handbasket. This was a place where I can go where it was always sunny and the weather was just so nice. Even when it was raining, it was pleasant. And you could just relax. And it's very strange for everyone to just sit and relax in a game, but boy, was that exciting. Crystal wants to know if we can visit Andrew's island while I am streaming, and as long as Andrew gives permission, I'm happy to do it. Give us, because we got time. So I'm just waiting for Andrew's permission. I will, however, totally get my screen share back on. I'm also going to have to take a picture of his dream code, because once I get my screen share on, I'm not going to be able to see. This is me with my camera. I'm not kidding when I say I play my game with my cell phone in hand. And survey says, can we visit the island? We're just getting permission. Yes, we have gotten permission. It is a thing that's gonna happen. Hooray, this is exciting. It's been quite some time since I've visited Andrew's island. So I'm going to his dream because he gave us his dream code. But that also means you guys get to see one of my rooms for sleeping. I didn't go into my house not intentionally. It was just because this wasn't about my house. This wasn't like Happy Home Academy fun time. This was about 5-star islanding. Yeah, I want to sleep. Let me go to someone else's house. And as always, if you want to go see my island, that code is right up top here. So feel free to explore. I don't know if there's anything super exciting that you haven't seen, but what else? Oh, thanks for the compliment about my house in the comments. I really appreciate it. I want to dream. I like that that's an option. I just want to dream. So that I want to fly. All right, let me see.
I just have a question as a noob to Animal Crossing. What's the difference between dream address and dojo? Like the
and
dojo
a dojo
codes.
code?
Mm-hmm.
So a dodo code lets me actually go interact with someone while they're online. So right now, we're going to go visit Andrew's island. I'm typing in his dream code right now. And Andrew could literally sign off the game right now, and I can still visit his island. His island is his dream island is a capture of his island when he uploaded it. You can upload a dream once per day, so one capture of your island per day. I've already uploaded my capture for today. And so now I'm able to go to his island from whatever time he uploaded it. So he could have uploaded it like last week, and I'm going to be seeing last week's island. He could have made a whole bunch of changes, but I'm seeing last week's island. A dodo code is what you would need to visit somebody's island who is online and playing at that very moment, and they have their gate of their island open and they're accepting visitors. On this island though, first of all, I won't have any of my items, so there's only so much havoc I could wreak. But because it's a dream, if I were to like shake his trees and take his stuff, nothing would happen. Like it wouldn't change his island in any way. And if someone else were to go onto the island, his trees would still have all their fruit and everything, because this is a dream version. So again, it's a way of having people visit your island without messing up your stuff.
But like you keep the items, correct? Like if you grab.
No, if I were to grab anything, so right now, my item inventory.
Oh, okay.
But if I were to grab something, like if I were to grab this Matryoshka, oh, I'm sorry, I grabbed the sauna heater apparently. Here's where the Matryoshka is. If I were to grab that and try to like take it back with me, it wouldn't stay in my pockets.
That makes sense.
Because it's a dream. Anything I'm doing right now, it's all a dream.
Andrew, I know it's your island because of the giant Godzillas.
Yes, so for those uninitiated with Andrew, he's very into Godzilla. And therefore, I do feel bad because when you dream into someone's island, you don't start at the airport, which is where a lot of people have created their like entrance aesthetic. So if I were to be like truly, you know, authentic about that, I'd come out here and we'd go see the welcome sign and we'd see that he's open, even though technically he might not even be here. And we'd see that he still has Stitches and he hasn't gotten rid of Stitches, and he never will because now he has a plushie of Stitches that certainly didn't get mailed to him from me. JK, it did. I bought him a Stitches plush. That's how I feel about that. One challenge that was added to us was Andrew said that we have to find all the Godzillas. One thing to know about dreams is when you upload a dream, anything that you leave out will be in your dream. So for example, these coconuts were dropped, and guess what? They're part of the dream now. If you left out something you didn't mean to, well, now you have to wait 24 hours before you can, or wait till the next day before you can put that item out, or before you can like pick up that item and re-upload your dream. Geez, does anyone want to calculate? Oh, here's the annoying thing is I can't cross over right now because I don't have
a couple bridges that go to that side.
Yeah, there's a bridge on that side? I just
Yeah.
wanted to see all them flowers. There it is. Yeah, unfortunately, and here's like the really stupid thing, Andrew, all of these count as trash. Even though you're being deeply helpful to yourself to allow people to water your flowers so you can get a sweet, sweet hybrid. Look at all these
Yeah.
flowers.
I'm
The
careful.
other thing is I could run through your flowers and no harm would befall them.
Yeah,
That's
I still
something
have a 5-star right now.
What was that?
I still have a 5-star island right now, even with all that.
You may not have more than 15 items of trash. So you
True.
have a 5-star island because I only count 1, 2, 3, 4 here. And then you had some DIYs, but not enough DIYs to put you over the edge. Because you had your DIYs over in this area. And let's see, you've got
Okay, so I'm just
12 here.
over. I'm just over.
Oh, you might want to check on that. You
Yeah.
may want to check on that. If you have 16, you might not be at 5-star anymore just because you have an extra piece of litter, which is stupid because, again, to me, I don't count it as litter, but I am not in charge of the island ratings. I don't get to be. But Andrew is doing what I love to see, which is like these little corded off areas. I'm a big fan of these like little nooks, not to be confused with Tom Nook. But like Andrew, you're going to have to catalog me some of these, specifically both of these. I will catalog you the other two if you're interested. I don't have these two. I have the spring and I have the fall, but I don't have the winter or the summer. I will get you the other trains. I still need the DIY for this. Ugh, so sad I don't have the DIY for proper grave. Obviously, I have to pay my respects anytime I see a grave that's not mine. In education, we refer to when somebody takes a lot of information and breaks it down into smaller bits as micro-uniting. And Andrew has done a lovely job of micro-uniting aspects of his island so that like here is a yard. He has tabbed this off. Or like here's his orchard. He's tabbed off his orange trees. And he even put up this adorbs sign. I'm going to assume that you got this sign online from like a design download site.
Yep.
Any chance it was the same site I had, or there is a bunch of cataloging sites, so it could be anything. Oh, please, I'm close to you. You should be. There you go. Here's what I'm talking about when I say lily of the valleys grow on cliffs on the edge. So if you don't have a cliff edge, you might want to just put in 1 or 2 just so that you have a place for your lily of the valleys to spawn. Because you're going to be rolling in them. Oh, got to punch a tiger beetle. It's very important. Fun note, it doesn't matter if you have hybrid flowers. That doesn't affect your scenery points at all. I do recommend to have some diversity in flowers, just not only because it looks nice. I do think there's something about that, like if you had all white hydrangeas or whatever, I don't know, hydrangeas are bushes. If you had all white hyacinth, then I don't know if it makes a difference whether it's all same color, all same kind, but never hurt to experiment and have different colored flowers. Just saying. So as I start like really getting into the little nooks and corners of Andrew's Island, I definitely invite people to continue to ask questions because I'm here for you, or like make comments and stuff. I don't know. Y'all don't want to just hear me talk, or maybe you do. Maybe I have that voice that you just can't ignore, but I kind of doubt it. Oh, look, another example of a lily of the valley hanging out here on the edge of a cliff. It's like you can't get rid of them. It's like that's where their spawn rate is. You can sell lilies of the valley. That is a thing that can happen. I can't recall off the top of my head if they go for more or about the same as the price of golden roses, because I do recall golden roses going for a pretty good price. But the only way to get golden roses, other than obviously having a friend give them to you, is with the golden watering can. So that would be one additional advantage of having a 5-star island, is that you get the golden watering can, and the golden watering can is what gets you gold roses. Specifically if you water black roses with the gold watering can. Aren't you happy to know all of that?
So Mink, for the remaining time that we have, do you mind if we also go to Richie's Island?
Not at all. Do we have a code for Richie?
Yes, I can copy and paste it again in case it got lost.
Okay.
In the messages.
I assume we're doing dreams, so I don't.
Yes,
Right,
dream
right.
address.
I like how I have to wake up and then go back to sleep again. That being said, I could listen to Luna's background all night long, because that is some sleepy time frolics. Oh, good, and I will be able to see it, so I don't have to take a cell phone picture. Sorry. Cell phone picture. I realize this means nothing to you because this is my cell phone case. Here's my cell phone.
Train sets have been sent off.
All right. I love this like stupid face that we make. Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Sorry, I'm such a jerk. I can't believe they are making us get out of bed and then get back into bed. This is a little bit dumb, but here we go. Should I get some sleep? Hot dog, yeah, I should. God, I wish I could go to bed that fast. I mean, I go to sleep quickly, but it ain't that fast. Definitely not during this pandemic. I don't sleep this soundly. So as dream-inducing as Luna's lovely home is, her face is a little bit nightmare fuel. So when we visit Richie's Island, I'm really excited because I've never been to this one before, so this is going to be like my raw commentary. All right, let me get these numbers right. Numbers are hard.
Do you want me to say them out loud? Would that help?
Yeah, it's cool. I can
Okay.
see them. Just, you know, I have to do this. I'm on a Pro controller because that Joy-Con drift is pretty real. So that means I can't just like type it in with my fingers real fast.
Ugh, Joy-Con drift. Ugh.
I know the Joy-Con drift is terrible. I'm guessing that's right. I have no idea. Yeah, if anyone is visiting my island, my dream address, and you're like, oh, did I get the right one?
Yeah, that's right.
Hedge fast, and it is legit. If you are in a zone where you're seeing anything that refers to hedgehogs, you're at the correct place.
Yeah, my island name is just, I'm pretty sure it's Dandelion in German, so.
Oh, I love it. So Richie's Island is crushing it because Richie uploaded when it was nighttime. And that's what I wish I had thought to do yesterday, but I had just planted some flowers, and so I wanted to wait for the flowers to be a little bit better bloomed. They weren't in full bloom, but they were in like bud instead of stem mode. So I think my island looks prettier at night because I've got like the lights and everything. And so now we're going to get to see, even though it's daytime IRL, since the island was uploaded at night, we're getting an at night look. And it's whatever the weather was that night as well. So if you were doing, like I've seen somebody do a Haunted Mansion theme from Disney, where not only did they upload it at night, but they also did it while it was raining. So you got that like kind of gross, like, that you got that feel. Now, I want you to notice when I pause and I'm not moving, there's no time here, and that's just because dreams don't do time. I'll have to investigate in the future. Ooh, DIYs that I can't take with me. Oh, I don't have the sleigh. That would have been so good.
If you want them, you can have them. I don't need them, obviously.
I couldn't hear that. I'm sorry.
I said, hang on. I said, if you want them, you can have them. I really don't need them.
Oh, bless.
Over, so.
I'd love to. I love these little hop-alongs. I love these little details when you put them on hop-alongs too, because I think they're super cute.
Yeah, all mine have different things. Like I have that one which is cherry blossoms. I have that one which
Oh,
is.
we've got. It looks like some. Hold on, don't tell me. Homestuck, right?
Yeah.
I gotta smash someone's face just to get to them. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I have that one. I have Naruto.
Did you put a heart of blue roses around it? Because that's
yeah.
amazing.
Okay. Here's the thing. So she's from a game called Bang Dream, and she's in a band, and the band is called Rosalia, and their logo is a blue rose.
Oh, that's perfect. Also,
Yeah.
the band. Here we go.
Yeah.
Playing electric guitar. I am.
Yeah. I recently finished the heart like yesterday, but I just haven't gotten a chance to upload
Blue
it
roses
yet.
are the absolute worst to make. They are.
Yeah, my friend, they had a couple, so they gave me 2 of them, and I spawned the rest of them.
All I
just
want
my
to do is
watering
catch you. Oh, you've got Celia too. I find her to be garbage, but I'm glad you have her.
Yeah, she was on one of my islands, and I just loved that she was wearing a dirndl, so I was like, oh, I need this one now.
Yeah, I gave all of my boy villagers a waistcoat because I want them to all look like Raymond without actually being Raymond. I just want Raymond. I still don't have him. And I gave all of the girls a lovely little yukata that is just so darling on them. Oh, and you did this on a full moon. So now you get the beautiful full moon look. Now I'm going to tell you, first reaction, when I see empty space like this, I get so excited, like my pupils dilate. Because my first thought is, oh my God, there's so much you can do with this. Because unfortunately, I have piled on so many micro-united moments on my island that now, if I want to put in something new, it's usually, and I have to get rid of something.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, you can have that thing, but it's gonna cost you. So I just put in the little graveyard behind my museum. Previously, that graveyard was where I was breeding my gold roses. So it was like, oh yeah, you can have this, but you're gonna lose the ability to breed gold roses in that area. And I'm like, oh, sad. I mean, I guess that'll be fine. I like that we've got the Godzilla terrorizing spa guests. Also, big, super fun and popular thing to do on islands is this free flowers thing. I love it. It looks like Richie has put as many, a variety of flowers. So this is really helpful, especially in a time before Leaf was available as an option, because Leaf did not start out as a person that could visit you. So if you wanted to get roses, the only way that you could get roses, for me, for example, was to go to someone else's island. You couldn't just buy roses at the Nook shop, which was kind of a pain. I love it. We've got the music, we've got the ambiance. These outdoor garden lights are really lovely. You can't turn them off, which I find to be rather wonderful when you have guests over at night, because with the paper lanterns, you can turn them off. But if I had my way, I would just get a bunch of garden lanterns and I would put them along every shore, so that at night when people came, when people were swimming or whatnot, you just had that and it was there. Now I'm stupid, and usually I'm wearing a swimsuit so that I can go diving. But I wanted to do my full Nook attire, so I won't be able to go diving on your island. Sad for me. Richie also uploaded while Nook's Cranium is closed, so I can't see what's in there. I do believe the shops are closed when you go into a dream, though. I
Yeah,
haven't
shops are
fully
closed.
investigated that, which is fine because it's not like you can take anything with you. And here's what I was talking about for those who haven't done any dream explorations before. You can check out this kiosk to see designs that someone has uploaded. So I can check out, like, I can connect to the internet and check out Richie's designs. And we've got, takes forever, the load screens. Yeah, looks like we just have, oh, we've got a lovely outfit design. No custom designs uploaded yet, but you can always upload custom designs whenever you wish. But it works the same. I believe that works the same as when you upload it in the Mabel Sister shop. So if you've got any custom designs that are uploaded there, you'd be able to see it in someone's dream. That's really helpful if they've made a custom design of like a flooring that you like. They many times they'll have uploaded it here, so when you visit their island, you're like, oh, that's so dope. Okay, I'm gonna grab it, and then you can, which is lovely. All right. On that note, it's just about getting to 4 o'clock. I know that our moderator, Crystal Hart's got a panel coming up, so I am going to start wrapping up just so that we give her enough time to set things up. I know that there are folks who are coming in and starting to come in who are here for the Disney Princess panel that's coming at 4 o'clock. So I do want to make sure that everyone feels comfortable and ready to go for that. Are there any other questions or things that people have for Animal Crossing Fun Times or whatnot? This is my like wait time, like allow for wait time. Well, all right then. Thanks you guys so much for this lovely journey that we've had together. Thank you, Richie and Andrew, for letting us also check out your dreams, which sounds really weird out of context, and I stand by it. I hope you guys had a lovely time. Those of you who are watching this video not live because you're watching it in syndication on Facebook or YouTube, I love you too, and thank you for watching. All right, everybody. Please enjoy our next panel. It's been fantastic. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Mink. Okay, so I'm gonna set up for a moment. Let's see.